Interview.
Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and we're here at Namco's press event, and I'm standing with Toshi Nabeshima, who is producer of Armored Core 5, which is a brand new entry in the series that you guys have debuted here. Talk to us about this new entry in the series, because it is very different than the Armored Core games that we know.
So the very first concept, top concept, is we have kept the base system the same. However, by bringing online as a bigger priority, by getting the whole game totally online, we have changed the game design, changed the game flow, customization, all those aspects to get this game on the online space.
Now, an online functionality to an Armored Core game was a big request from fans. How much of the fan input have you guys tried to incorporate in bringing this feature to the game?
So the Armored Core series has been going on for a very long time, as you know, and we get voices from fans that have been fans since the very first game, all the way to fans that have just joined the series itself. So we get all sorts of comments from all sorts of fans. We actually take that in once, digest it, then taking into account all of the comments, bring that to our game design to give a new experience to the users.
So can you talk to us about some of the online features in the game that are going to be put in to surprise the users?
So first and foremost, it's often thought as, having a game to be online, to have an online specific mode. But for this game, it's not the case. The entire game will be completely online. So as an example, in the past series, the story mode was offline. There was a separate online mode where players can compete against each other. So those two aspects were completely separated. But however, what we've taken this time is, even for single player mode or story mode where players can play by themselves, will be online as well, so that they can experience both modes all on the online space, which is a new challenge for us and something that we tried out for this new Armored Core series game.
Now, as far as the story goes, where does this fit in with the previous games?
So in terms of story, it's not a continuation of any games from the past. They've actually redesigned and rewritten the story specifically for Armored Core 5.
Now, what other online features does the game offer, in addition to just the simple kind of competition against players?
So one thing we do want to communicate to everybody that is out there that are fans of the Armored Core series is, in past series, the online, it directly sort of translated into versus play, so playing against somebody else. However, this time, that is an aspect to the online, but what we were trying to emphasize is for the players to be able to live in the online space, not just play against each other, but carry out other play styles, strategies, etc., all completely in the online space.
Now, as far as gameplay goes, what we've seen in the series with each entry is there's some refinement to the gameplay. So can you talk to us a little bit about how the game is going to play in Armored Core 5?
The big theme for this game is when playing on the online environment, it's not just the single player versus single player, but we really want to emphasize the concept of having a team within the Armored Core world. So basically, we want the users to not only play the game for themselves, but as a member of a specific team, so that they can share the rewards, share the experiences, share the fun, share the sadness, share everything amongst the members of your teammates. And then another comment that we want to make sure we add is, when we continually say team and emphasize team, it sort of sounds like the game will be difficult to play alone. But for this game, it's not the case. We've increased the volume, increased the amount of gameplay, so that even players who like to play alone, like to enjoy the game alone, will be able to play and have a satisfactory experience, either playing with a team as a team member or playing by themselves. So that's another thing that we don't want the users to forget, and want to make sure that you don't necessarily have to have team members to enjoy the game.
Now, one of the addictive qualities about the series has been the amount of customization and content just within the game. So how does the content in Armored Core 5 stack up to the previous games? Is it as large? Is there more?
So strictly speaking about customization of your own mech or your own robot, we have over 500 customizable parts in the game, and development is still continuing, so there will probably continue to be more and more past 500. So that's obviously one of the likable aspects of the game itself. Earlier we did emphasize team play, and so we have put that in mind and put in new, unique, customizable items so that players can play as a team member and have a specific role on their team. And one more important aspect about the customization is when you play in teams, the goal is to take control of certain territories and protect your territory while trying to invade other territories. And so we have added a lot of customizable parts so that you can customize your territory as well, not just the robots, but the actual land that you own as well. So that's another important aspect towards strategizing and the tactical gameplay behind this Armored Core 5 game.
Now, since the game does have online support and online functionality, can we assume that we're going to be able to get downloadable content as well, such as parts, new levels, just new content in general?
So, because we are still in development, it's at this point the answer would be we obviously look into it, and it's something that we definitely consider because it is a long series. But because we are trying to create a new game with a new gameplay style, we're hoping to hear more feedback from the actual users and try to take that into account when coming up with new downloadable content or gameplay aspects that should be added or should be taken away or should be adjusted. And those may be implemented as downloadable content. But as a base policy that he has, even if we do happen to do downloadable content, we want to constantly make sure that the downloadable content does not mean paying money for something that will make you stronger or that will break the game balance. We don't want people to have to download to become stronger than other people. So that's a base concept or a policy that he has in himself. If we do downloadable content, it will be strictly to expand the lifespan of the game or expand communications with other friends. Simply either items that you can sort of brag about with your friends or the specific items that won't break the game balance alone, but will be interesting for people to be able to download and enjoy separately.
All right, well, thank you very much. I guess the last most important question for people watching is, when's the game coming out and what platforms can they look for it on?
So in terms of platforms, it will be out on both PS3 and Xbox 360. So don't worry about that. It will be on a multi-platform basis. In terms of the release date, at this point, it has been a long waited, and we have kept the fans waiting for a long amount of time. So we will try our best to release the game and let the users play directly as soon as possible. But I'm not able to give you a defined streak.
Thank you very much. There you go. That is your first look at Armored Core 5 for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Be sure and check back on the site for more.